Most people suck at being on camera. Most people avoid it at all costs. But honestly, I think it's one of the most important skills you should be focusing on right now because it will unlock so many opportunities for you. And the truth of the matter is that most people are not going to embrace this skill. So if you're on the fence about it and you're wanting to learn how to become better at it, let's talk about it today because you're already ahead of 99% of other people that are just going to forever be too scared to embrace it. And pretty soon, if you follow what we'll talk about today, people will start acknowledging you and asking you questions on how did you do this? How did you get so good at this? So, what's important from my story and my experience with talking on camera, this is a skill that I feel like I've been pretty decent at for many, many years of my life. I grew up making videos as a kid, and I remember when I got to middle school, there started being, video projects, and I would always do a mini documentary for those projects because I was like, I can make those. And everyone would always be really impressed. They would always be like, dude, your voice is like you're made for documentaries and for TV and stuff. And I was just like, well, that's yeah, okay, calm down. That's a little kind. But what I didn't realize was, oh, I think I actually do have a skill of speaking to camera. Like it doesn't feel nerve wracking to me. It comes very natural. And so, what is the difference between me being very natural speaking to camera and not being nervous about it versus someone who maybe if you're watching this, you're very nervous about it. You start sweating, there's sweat everywhere, and you're stuttering and you're struggling and you just don't know how to eventually be comfortable and confident on camera so that you can make the content that you would want to. So the truth of the matter is the advice and the way to do it is really simple. It is to do it, to practice it, and to suck at it for a long time. By the time that I was in middle school and people started to say like, oh, you're pretty good at this, it wasn't because I just turned on the camera and I felt natural with it. It's because I had been making stupid videos for years when I was in like elementary school where I was awful and I didn't know how to speak to camera and my voice was changing. There was all these things going against me. They were all terrible videos that you can't even find online anymore because they were just silly. But it let me speak to the camera. It let me practice every single day. And so I was making videos all the time and suddenly, without even me thinking about it or making it like something I was going after, a goal of mine, I suddenly had the skill set of being able to show up on camera and not be nervous whatsoever. And now it's a really important skill set because everybody likes making content. Everybody would like to, well, not everybody, but if you're watching this, you fall under the category of probably everybody that would want to make content. And it is a competitive advantage to be able to speak to the camera confidently and comfortably because there's a lot of people that can't. And there's a lot of people that are trying, and that's okay. But the faster you can get to that point where you're comfortable with it and you feel confident, then your content's going to be better. It's going to connect with people more, and you're going to be able to grow your audience faster. So truly, the best advice is to just start recording something every single day, multiple things a day if you have the time. Let yourself be bad. You don't even have to post these. You can if you want for extra accountability. Honestly, this channel is me posting things without, really any editing right now just because I want to create and publish. Even though I have this skill of speaking to camera, it's so hard for me to do the publishing. So I'm posting. If it will help you stay accountable to continue shaping, and harnessing this skill, then yeah, post it publicly. But you also don't have to. And just allow yourself to be bad and know that it's okay. Allow yourself to be nervous until eventually you won't be. Maybe that's video 10. Maybe it's video 30. Maybe it's video 100. Whatever it is, get to that point as fast as possible because it will only benefit you when you're at that point where you're like, I'm really confident in speaking on camera now, and it's no issue whatsoever. Now, there are other very practical things to support you in this journey. And these are a couple things that I have tried and tested over the years to help me. So the first thing is when you're recording something, if you are messing up over and over, people have the tendency to just want to start again, start again, start again. I always advise people, if you're struggling, to stop, pause, give your brain and your mouth a break to think and, just kind of take a second and then try again. Do not try to over and over try and say the same thing, because you will just start starting over your words and tripping over your words, and it will just not come out good. And instead, if you just take a second, pause, think through everything, and start again, you will be so much clearer in your delivery. There are multiple videos on this channel that took me about 10 different tries to get the start of it the way that I wanted to. And no one has to see them. No one has to know. You wouldn't have known that if I didn't just tell you that. And so that's also an important note, is that it's a thing that will forever be an issue. If you never mess up, you honestly, like, kudos to you, and you're better off than 99% of people, because, like, even for me, I've recorded videos for years. I feel very natural doing this. However, I still mess up. And especially with this channel, I'm not doing much editing on these videos, and so I don't want to get a lot of things wrong, and so I start over a lot because it just makes it easier for me. And then finally I crack that opening that I want, and then I'm able to just go with it. But it takes 5 to 10 mess ups to then get the one where you're just in the flow and you are just going. So allow yourself to just stop and pause and take a second. The other important thing is, say you are editing your content, there's nothing to worry about, because you can just edit all of the mistakes out. Whenever I am editing an episode, or I'm working on editing something for someone else, and they have a ton of mess ups, the audience doesn't have to know. People are very used to jump cuts nowadays. There's no issue with that. It's very much so accepted, and you can even do other things to hide it if you wanted to. You could do multiple angles. You could have B-roll go over that section, whatever it is. But in general, just a regular jump cut is also okay. And so when I am knowing I'm going to edit something, I never worry about messing up, because I'm like, I just edit it out and no one has to know. And so that is another case where stopping, giving yourself like 20 seconds to just like pause and think, can be another very practical way to just not be hard on yourself and get through the video. So that's how I would think about it in terms of starting and stopping and editing. The next section that's helpful for me is an outline. I don't personally like to script my videos. That is one other way you could do it. However, if you're not great on camera, the last thing you should probably be doing is trying to read something word for word, because it will be very obvious. You will sound like a robot. It will not feel authentic. And the whole point of video is to authentically connect with your audience. So I want to do a full script. There's experts that, once you're really good on camera, you can, do a script and make it a little bit more convincing. But what I like to do is outlines. And so what I will do is, for this video, I would have my notes app open, and I would just say how to, be confident on camera. And then I would list out all of the different things that I'm going to hit. And I would just reference that as I'm recording the video. So, for this, it would be all of these different steps of allowing yourself to suck. And then that guides me into, the next section, and that guides me into the next section. And it's just a guide where there's just a couple bullet points, if there's a story you want to mention, or a quote you want to mention, or just stuff to, make sure it keeps you on track with the episode. That can be really, really beneficial. So again, it's not putting words in your mouth. It's not trying to read something word for word, but it's something you can look at and say, okay, like, I just talked about that, which means now I can go into this section. And after you're done with that section, you'll go to this section, and it just guides you from the beginning to the end. And so an outline can be really, really helpful, especially when you're getting started, because eventually you get to the point where you can just talk about a topic and just riff for the whole time. But in the beginning, having an outline can be very helpful to you. It's very helpful to me even now. And sometimes it just takes doing the outline to just kind of commit to, all right, I'm going to sit down, I'm going to make a video about this, and now I know what I'm going to, roughly speak on. The more you can do that, the more excuses you won't have when it comes to recording the final video. And when you put all of those things together, honestly, and you apply it to, okay, I'm going to do all these videos until I feel like I don't suck anymore, that's all it's going to take. it's just going to take patience. And that's the issue that a lot of people don't have. They expect to turn on the camera, do a video, and it's going to blow up and it's going to be perfect. And then they're frustrated when those results don't come in immediately. And it's like, I mean, even the biggest stars, take Mr. Beast, recorded hundreds of videos before he saw any traction. Don't expect you to be an outlier on that. It would be honestly just like hitting the jackpot if you did. Instead, it's better just start making stuff, get your reps out, be improving on every single video, and don't be so hard on yourself if you don't feel like you're perfect at it yet or your skill set's not where you want it to be. Just like anything else in life, it's just going to take time. And so the faster you can get behind a camera and start talking, the faster you will improve, and then the faster you will have a competitive advantage over every other person around you that's making content in your niche. Because if you can be the better presenter, then you're going to connect with people even more. But if you are scared of not being perfect the first time, then all the people that are in your space, and again, this stuff is not a full competition, but just to show you, like, say right now you're like, I can't be perfect, so I'm not going to do it at all. There's probably people that you've watched their content that you think, oh, I could probably deliver that better, but you're not because you're scared, yet they are getting their reps in and they're putting them out and you're seeing them. So it's working for them because they're getting better and finding an audience. And so what I don't want to happen for any of you watching this is for you to miss out on the biggest opportunity right now to show up and connect with an audience, which is having the skill of speaking confidently and comfortably on camera. It is the best way to connect with people, to share your stories, to share valuable information, or to make people laugh, and entertain them. It is the best skill that will serve you in every part of your life, truthfully, because some of the things associated with it that I didn't realize was, oh, I'm better at talking to people in person. I'm better at, if I'm pulled up on a stage to say something, I'm still nervous, but I'm less nervous. And I feel more confident to just speak in front of groups. And those are all things that came from honing the skill of speaking to a camera by myself in a room. And so it not only helps for your content, but will help in other areas of your life because you will feel confident in showing up as yourself and speaking to, could be 5 people, 50 people, 50,000. You never know. But if you feel confident in how you show up with that, it's just going to truly show up in so many different ways. So I'm very excited for so many of you. Let me know if you apply these practices and how it works out for you and how many reps you're getting in. I would really love to especially see some people go from their first video to where they feel confident in sharing that with me. So hopefully this was helpful. I'm enjoying making these videos, just talking about some of the things in the creator space that are coming up for me and are piquing my interest. And so if you enjoyed this, make sure to subscribe. My name is Chris Jordan, and I'll see you in the next video.